Hello and welcome everybody back to the Inside Our Galaxy podcast. I'm your host, Eric Hernandez, as always. It's been a while since we recorded, and now we are finally back. We missed you guys. Hopefully you missed us. But yeah, we got a few recaps that we have to get through. We got our game against Kansas City, and then our game against Colorado that happened. Both ties. Kansas City was 2-2. Colorado ended up being a 0-0 draw. So yeah, we're going to talk about that, our thoughts, give our opinions about that. And then also we got a recap. Or not a recap, we got previews also as well. We got one of San Jose, and so we got to talk about those, and whatever else is up in the Galaxy news that we haven't really talked about. But yeah, anyways, it's been a while. We're glad to be back, and with me as always is my co-host LA Galaxy Central. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's good to be back in California, and pretty cool to be trying out a new platform. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it does look a little different. Now you can see that my room is actually in the background. So you can see all the jerseys and things like that. So we're trying a new platform. We're trying to do things to up the quality of this podcast, and hopefully this is one of them. And new platform and stuff like that. And I mean, it's good to see you, man. It's been a while. I mean, it's been like 2 weeks since recording an episode around there?
More or less.
Yeah, more or less 2 weeks. And also you were in Italy and stuff like that. So you were out of the country and stuff like that. So, but I mean, it's good to be back. Good to have you back. And I mean, let's just get started in our recap. So I guess we'll talk about the Kansas City game first, because that was the one that we haven't really talked about in a while. But yeah, we ended up playing Kansas City at home, our first home game of the post Chris Klein era, you can say. Ended up being a 2-2 draw. Unfortunate way to end the game because of a handball, a penalty, and we had the lead. It was 2-1, and we ended up dropping the ball at that one. We ended up dropping points at home. But I mean, let's talk a little bit about Kansas City. I know that's been a while. It's been like a week, so maybe our minds aren't that refreshed on the game. But what were your thoughts about it, man? How'd you feel about that one?
Yeah, so I'm probably in the camp where I thought it was like a very bad result. At home, you had the lead going into stoppage time, and you found a way to lose the game. I mean, hearing from the players and coaches, the mindset of the team is to still turn the season around, and that was a game you needed to win to turn the season around, especially at home, and we couldn't close it out, which is very disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, it really was disappointing. I mean, I was there live. I was there in person. I was up in the stands, which was good to have everybody back, but
I was up at 4:30 a.m.
Yeah, you were up really late up there in Italy. But yeah,
I mean, you mean early?
Or early, yeah, technically, because it's 4 a.m. in the morning. But regardless, I was there at the game, and yeah, I mean, it was disappointing when it came to the result, because and very unlucky too, because I mean, that handball was just something that, of course, it was a handball. I know people were trying to dispute that. I mean, that was a clear hand, but that handball in the end just really killed the game. It killed the, obviously, Kansas City stole points. That's what they did, and it killed the vibe, I guess, of that game. And ultimately, like you said, those were points that we needed against Kansas City. Those were points at home that you needed, and points you need to turn around the season at this point, because, like you said as well, the mindset of this team is that they want to turn it around. They have faith that they can turn it around, and those were the points that we just needed. But it was just, to me, I wasn't disappointed in the way we played. I was just very disappointed in that's how the game ended. I know you kind of had like different thoughts about that, but to me, I just don't think it was a performance thing. It was just really unlucky that's how it ended.
No, I don't think it was unlucky. I think we would have been more lucky to actually win the game. I think it was a game where kind of both teams were sort of even. Both teams had their good stretches and their sort of bad stretches of the game. And I think a draw is fair, but you still wish at home, like, even if the draw is the most fair result from that game, you wish there was a way we can just find a way to win, even when it's not our best day, which I don't think it was a terrible performance, but it definitely could have been better. You definitely should have been able to close that game out, but we couldn't do so.
Yeah, I mean, and we had chances to make it even more, get more goals on there, right?
Like about it.
That's the part, because I think that's what was missing, is that you needed that third goal to really secure the game. And even if they ended up getting that penalty no matter what, it was like, you got a third goal, as long as you can hold on to that lead for the last, because I think the penalty happened like 85th minute, if I remember, like around there.
Like 89th minute, I think. I think it was.
Yeah, it was probably
right
later.
The 90th.
Yeah, so so all you need to do was just hold out the game for the rest of the whatever the stoppage time was. But yeah, I mean, I think that's also another thing too. It was you needed that extra goal. You needed the insurance of getting those 3 points. And like I said, we can both agree on that. It was just disappointing that we didn't get those 3 points. But like I said, I don't think performance wise it wasn't that bad. It was just to me that handball was really unlucky for me.
I mean, a good team finds a way to put one of those two chances away. One of those two chances should have been in the back of the net, like the Tyler Boyd crossbar. He has to score that. Ricky Pooch wide open at the top of the 18 with no pressure. He needs to find a way to put that in the back of the net. The fact that neither of those were goals, I was kind of like, we could be in trouble with the fact that we couldn't get that insurance goal.
The funny thing was, I thought that Tyler Boyd was a goal. Like I thought that chance was a goal because like all I see was the ball goes straight to the goal, and then I'm like yes, and then I find out it just hits the post and ends up going back, and I was like, wait, what happened? Like I didn't I didn't understand what happened, and then because it's weird like when you're in the back of the goal and then you have to look at the goal from the opposite direction. It's like you can't really see everything that well. So like I really thought that was a goal, but yeah, but like again, like I said, that insurance goal was needed to put those to put Kansas City away. I guess we can talk a little bit about, or unless you have any other points you want to say, because I was going to say let's talk a little bit about the players, but I think we kind of gave our opinions about the game in general.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess let's talk about players specifically in that game. I guess anybody that stood out to you in that game, anybody that you kind of stood out to you in that game.
I mean, not a player specifically, but this was just kind of an idea that was in my head. Doesn't this team kind of remind you of the 2017 Galaxy in terms of who was on the field closing the games and what kind of players they are from the certain background? Like, didn't that kind of remind you of that, where it's like you have a bunch of these like USL, MLS Next Pro guys closing out the game, a bunch of these players that I don't want to be disrespectful of that, but like we don't really know, that aren't really familiar with this league, that haven't really been in this league that long. We're just giving them chances because we don't have anything. There's nothing else to really give.
Yeah, it did remind you that because I did like before the game I looked at the bench and I was like, whoa, like that's a really young bench. Like these are players that haven't gotten any minutes or haven't even seen first team action in general. A couple players got their debuts that day, and it was like it was interesting, and I think you're right. It kind of did remind you a little bit about 2017, which 2017 was sort of like this rebuild year and a lot of young players getting their chances and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the bench was interesting. You got to see a lot of young guys in there, which it's a good and a bad thing. The good thing is that you get these young guys some minutes and hopefully they can contribute at some point. But the bad thing is like we don't need young guys in there. We need experienced guys in there to hopefully turn around the season. Like we don't know if these young guys are gonna be the answer for our season. But I just found it interesting too with the young guys.
Especially closing the game too. Like, what was our closing lineup that game? You had like Cuevas out there. Who else was out there?
You had the USL guy. B-Boot. You had B-Boot.
There's other guys too. There was a lot of like players I wasn't that familiar with. Who else was there?
I was trying to think. I mean, obviously Daniel Aguirre came in. That's another young player, even though he's had some minutes in the first team. But like, in general, like the bench was just a lot of younger guys.
Preston Judd for most of the game. Like it really reminds me of 2017 a lot.
Yeah, it really. Which, by the way, Preston Judd I think was the highlight of that game. I mean, he had a goal in that one. Technically, he had two, but they overturned one. But he was also a guy who stepped in. What's up?
Oh, so like all those young guys got playing time, and like some players even got their debut. And guess what? Efrain Alvarez still got 0 minutes that game.
That's sad to think about. I mean,
is he still?
It's sad. I mean, it's sad, but like it's like deserved because it's like, well, we know how you've been playing, and you're basically in the doghouse until you do something.
So why don't they just like move on from him to another club? I think that would benefit everybody at this point.
I mean, depending on this transfer window, maybe that's an option. I don't know, but that could be an option. But regardless, yeah, you got to see a lot of young guys, and some young guys thrive, like Preston Judd, who scored a goal and was the highlight of that game. But yeah, no, I think that was interesting too. But I mean, that was the only player that I really could only think of was just Preston Judd because of his performance, which I think he did good as a starter. Without Dejan there because of unlike someone else. But I mean, we can talk about that too. But like But yeah, like unlike Dejan, who hasn't been good as a starter and wasn't there because of international duty, so Judd made the most of his opportunity. We did get some pretty bad news during that game too, as well. Martin Cáceres ends up going down in that game, which ended up being 3 to 5 month injury, which was a fracture in his knee, I believe it was, and so that's a big blow that we got in that game as well. We don't have Martin Cáceres, and in general, we don't have center backs. Going for these next few weeks, which is. That's another point where we can take, which is
that's bad, yeah.
Yeah, that's bad. No center backs, not even Eric Zavaleta. We don't even have him, and you could probably use a guy like Eric Zavaleta at this point. But yeah,
maybe Kraus can step up,
which is an interesting thing, right? Because that was an option because it's like he has a first team contract and stuff like that, and Why don't you put him in? At this point, you have to put him in. Like, you have no center backs. You're not going to put Leerdam in as your starter. Or maybe if you do put him, but you're not going to put him in as the whole game. Like, I mean, that's a interesting thing. But yeah, we don't have center backs because you got some guys injured. You got people on international duty. And yeah, that's a big problem for these next few games coming up. But yeah, that's pretty bad. But yeah, I mean, I guess we can talk a little bit about Colorado or transition into it.
Well, I mean, we can talk about the Costas injury a little bit and what it means exactly.
Well, that's true though. We could talk about that because it is interesting though because they don't put him in on the season-ending list as well because I mean, 3 to 5 months for a 35-year-old on an injury.
I think it's season-ending.
You kind of have to look at it that way, right? Because it's just like...
Especially because by the time he would come back, like, we're probably going to be out of playoff contention by then, I'd expect.
Yeah. Yeah, unless you're confident that this team is going to make the playoffs, which is a very, very, at this point, a very hard, hill to climb, then yeah, maybe you don't put him in season ending, but it's kind of hard not to put him in general, like, even if we're in a playoff spot, because... I mean, I don't know. It's like he's 35 years old. It's a pretty big injury, and maybe the recovery won't be. It definitely won't be 3. Let's be honest. It's not the recovery. Definitely won't be 3. So it's looking more towards the 5. But again, that's very hopeful for the Galaxy to think that Martin Cáceres would go in. Which again, like we've talked about options. You can bring Marcus Francis in or anything like that. Do we have to find a center back now in the summer window? Are we going to have to trade for somebody now? I mean, it's interesting.
Honestly,
that's an interesting. You brought this up, especially after this game, about basically
after the injury,
season.
not the game. After the game, after the injury, yeah.
Right, but regardless, you still said this, and I'm going to say this right now. They're not going to tank. This team is not going to tank. Now. Listen, I understand where the season is at. We've discussed about this season, but there's no way the players are going to say, we're done with this season, especially after a, 3-game win undefeated streak. So even if it's 1 or 4 games, there you go. Even if it was just 1 win, there is some sort of a tide turning, in a sense. There's no way you can't deny that there is a tide turning. Now I'm saying, is it going to be consistent? Is it going to be this, a complete thing like turnaround? No, but you can't tell me the players right now are saying, "Hey, we're playing better than what we're playing. We got to keep trying." Really, there's just no way the players are going to change. Like
maybe, again, but I don't think we're playing very inspiring though.
You're telling me that this team is not inspired now. After the whole Klein signing, this team is not inspired. At least somewhat a bit inspired.
No. I think they're just getting lucky draws now, just kind of grinding through, but it's not going to last. They're going to go back to what they were before, 3-2-0 games. I'm sorry. I mean, these performances are not that good.
I mean, I understand it, but the results. I'm pretty sure that's lucky. How the team is taking. But lucky or not, if you're lucky enough to get the job that you want, are you going to complain? Are you going to be like, "Oh, I'm lucky that I got the job," or "I'm lucky"? Or if you ask some girl out, your dream girl, and you're lucky that you get that girl, are you going to be disappointed? No, that's just how. I know
I did
those
not
were
know
weird
one point.
examples.
I did not. Yeah, I did not know one point in 13th place is getting the job done when you're like 10 points behind the ninth spot. That is not
I'm
getting
not.
the job done.
I'm not saying that these results are the best. I'm not saying that
No, they're
they're
not.
what we need, but I'm saying that hey, the team is at least looking at them and saying, hey, we got something going. Maybe we can push something. Maybe.
Okay.
I know we're like
No.
really hard disagreeing, and I know I'm not saying
I
that
think
they're
it's
making
funny.
the playoffs. I'm not saying that they're. I have complete faith in the team. I'm saying the team right now is having a little more faith than what they've had before.
Well, like at best we can grind out draws. That's who we are. Is like that's what we're proud of. I mean,
But
no.
that's
This is
but
like
that's
this is
not
one of the
what
worst 4-game undefeated streaks I've ever seen.
we said that last season with a couple of those, and what happened?
But like this is
we
not
said
the same though. Like the performances are better though, and the positions were actually in place.
I think we've played better. I think we've had.
What?
I
No,
think
think
we've
just,
had.
no,
No. But that's. I'm not
just
saying
lucky.
that we're playing all-star level. I'm not saying we're playing
No.
this like fantastic game. I'm just saying
We're not
we're
playing
better.
Well, better compared to what? Losing 3-0 every game, maybe I guess, but still, I
better
think
than
if we just keep doing, if we keep doing the same thing, we're just gonna keep losing again eventually. This is just a mini little unbeaten streak of kind of lucky results to me. Like I think
I
we've
don't
gotten
know.
lucky in a lot of games. Yeah.
I
Besides
mean,
Kansas City, I think Kansas City was the one like decent game where we did some good things. We scored 2 goals. We were moving the ball around well. But other than that, like these performances, like no, you could have easily lost all 3 of those games.
I don't know. I think
Well, and Salt Lake is pretty good too.
yeah. I mean, Salt Lake that was a good one, right? So I mean, they've
Yeah, well, like
they've
St.
been
Louis and Colorado, you could have lost.
St. Louis, yeah. But what did they do? They came back. We've been saying things like that. They've been coming back, even if they haven't been getting the win. They've been coming back, in some instances.
Yeah,
So,
I'll give them that. They have gone down a goal a lot and managed to get something from the game. They have done that more
so
recently.
yeah. So again, you're telling me this team ain't inspired because because
Inspired?
to me, when
No.
I mean okay. Maybe we both have like different opinions on this. Again, I'm not saying that they're making the playoffs. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the team does look different. Now, again, we can transition
Yeah.
into Colorado, where I think I would agree with you on that one. That game did not look inspiring for the Galaxy, where it was
Not
between
really,
two
no.
teams, where it was two teams who were. It was basically the battle of mid. Those were two
Mid is
mid
generous.
teams playing.
Mid is like, isn't mid like middle of the table? That's mid. This is bottom, whatever you call it. Like,
I guess the battle of bottom. I don't know, but it was the wooden spoon game. But I will
was.
say if you said your take on right now, if you said that like after the Colorado game, okay, I'm taking that one. But
I just said KC was a little better though.
exactly, and they did better against KC. But I'm just saying Colorado was definitely not great, and I don't know that one was definitely that one looked uninspiring. Definitely that one did not look like a game where this team was. I don't know I'll give you that one. That one was a game where I was like, okay, that one was like, okay, we got lucky. There was no way like either team should have won. You just take the points on that one, but I don't know.
I got up
But
at
yeah,
3:30
Colorado
a.m. for
was
that one.
definitely worse. Yeah, I mean, listen. I could have watched another quote unquote LA versus Colorado matchup in a different sport where the LA team won 25-1. I could have watched that, but instead I watched the Galaxy against the Rapids, and that one was just a bad bad game to watch.
It was
Hey, at
very
least I
bad.
got paid. I was working that day, so I got paid for that one. But
Yeah, fair enough.
but yeah, but I mean, I guess for that game though, other than it being mid, was there anything that stood out to you in that game?
It wasn't mid. It was terrible. Mid is like it was okay. Terrible is that. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, 3 right backs and you keep a clean sheet in the same defense. That's impressive and really random. But I guess it's all we have right now, which I found kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, it was a weird formation, and then you also started a 2-striker formation, which I've always said does not work with this team.
Especially with a
And-
certain guy up top.
Yeah, I can't believe we're turning on Dejan this much now. Like
I have
it's
to,
kind
bro.
of weird. It
I
is.
have to.
I mean, I don't. I'll agree with you on that. It's like you can't be like that. Yeah, the Dejan's been playing good. He's not. He has not been playing good as a
All right, I have a
starter, and
question
this
for
is
you.
his opportunity. Go ahead.
Do we trade Dejan Joveljic in the summertime and then use that U22 DP spot to maybe solidify that center back position for next season? Should we
But
do
do you
that?
think
I was thinking about that.
But do you think Preston Judd is your answer? That's my question to you.
At backup, yes.
So then, who would you want to go for? Who would you want to see the Galaxy get then at that point?
A starting DP level striker in the offseason?
But not during the season.
No, I already
Not
said
for
the
the summer
season's
window.
over, and there's no point in trying this season, in my opinion. I think this season's done. Like seriously, I think we should shut down Pooch and Brugman. I think we shouldn't play him anymore. Pretty soon, maybe not quite yet, but pretty soon. I
They're
don't think
not
it's an
going to do
unpopular
that.
take. Maybe they won't do that, but I think they should do that. I mean, because think about it. Let's say it's September, like we're like still in the same position, like almost 13th place. Pooch is still playing for whatever reason, and worst case scenario, he tears his Achilles. He's out the rest of this season, and then next year too, and that completely changes what the Galaxy want to do next year with a lot of salary cap, DPS, and TAM contracts. And then Pooch is out almost all of next year because you played him in a meaningless game when we're already just a few weeks out of playoff contention. Is that worth it? Like I'd rather have that prevented, and there's.
But once we're off of playoff contention, I understand that you can tank, and then at that point don't try. But they're not out of playoff contention, even if the statistic and the listen. You have to look at it through the player's perspective. You have to look at it through the player perspective. I'm looking at it through the player perspective, not through the fan perspective. Because the fan perspective right now, everybody who's watching. The fan perspective, which is not always a logical perspective.
Should be everyone's perspective. It should be everyone's perspective.
You stop lying. Stop lying because we've heard some takes from fans where we're like, these guys are
okay. Yeah, sometimes this is actually a good one.
No, I think
the organization should consider.
No, because we've even said it before. If the fans were able to run the team, we would be in much bigger piece of shit than we are right now.
Not in this case scenario, though. It's actually a smart decision.
No, stop it.
This is a smart decision. Other things, maybe not. This is a smart decision.
So you're telling me that you're going to take off arguably your best player when you statistically and technically have a playoff chance, even if it's a 9th place team. You're going to take him off now?
Yes.
You think
so he doesn't get injured next year.
So you're going to respect Greg Vanny and everybody in the front office, whoever's left, because I mean, I don't know who left after Klein as well, but you're gonna respect the team to do that. What are we gonna take for? This isn't like the NFL. This isn't the NFL or the NBA where you get the number 1 draft pick. I mean, technically you do, I guess, but but let's be realistic. The MLS draft is not a good. I've always said this. It's the worst draft in all of sports. No offense to the college kids or people who came off of the draft, but there's no point. You get nothing out of it. So at least at this point, you got to try. So what it is? Tell me what it's about.
I already said you don't want him getting injured for next year. Like, what if we're playing Pooch in September? We're in 13th place. We're going to be eliminated from playoff contention in like 2 to 3 weeks. He tears his ACL. He's out a whole year, and then he's out the rest of this meaningless season, and then he's out all of next year when we have a lot of salary cap and probably new players can come in and they might be better. And then that completely changes next year too. So why would you just waste this time now?
Because you're looking at it through already being eliminated, which we're not.
But we're not gonna do it.
I get what I agree. I'm not saying I agree, but I'm just saying like the fan perspective right now is that the season's over, which again is respectable. I get it that's what they're going. I respect your opinion, but I'm just saying that that's not the opinion that these players are going to take, and they're going to say that. That's just what I'm saying.
We don't have. I mean, you could just put other players in, though. You can just take out some of your veterans like Brugman, Pooch, Delgado. Keep the young defense in like Jalen Neal, Caligari, Auda, get them some playing time. But just take out like some of your veterans like Brugman, maybe Pooch. Just remove them. You don't want them getting injured for next year. I think these guys are still going to be very important pieces on our team next year, unless Pooch leaves in the winter, which I hopefully doesn't happen. But I don't want them getting injured next year. I really want a healthy year, get them some extra early rest, and then we can come out next year hopefully with a much better team.
I just don't see. They're not going to do it.
No, they're not, but they should do it.
But they're not.
Do you think they should do it? What do you think?
I
Do
don't
you
think
they should do it?
I don't think they should.
What?
No, because if I'm in a team where the coach says, you know what, if I'm in a locker room where let's say I'm with the Galaxy and Greg Vanney comes into the locker room and says, all right guys, the season's over for us. We're not going to try, and we got like what 15, 14 more games left in the season. I'm going to feel disrespected.
How?
You know, I'm
How
going
would
to
you
feel
feel
disrespected because at that point I'm saying, well, why am I here if we're not here to win games? If we're not here
'Cause
at
it's been
least
a
to
rough
try
year.
to win games. If I'm here to at
mean-
least try to win games.
I guess, but if you look at it more in the bigger picture, it's probably a good decision.
I'm saying that, listen,
gotta try to talk
I'm
to them,
sure. By the way, I didn't expect us to be full on arguing in our.
It's not an argument. It's a
after,
discussion.
like,
It's not an argument.
No, it is
It's
a
not
good.
an argument.
Well, it's an arguing, but a very loud discussion. But
It's a good discussion. I actually like
it
this.
is a good discussion. It is a good discussion. But no, there's no way that any of these players are going to take that because they're going to feel that's like it's almost saying like how do I just explain it? It is feeling disrespectful though. It's like it's just like why are we going to give up when we have a chance? Like there's just no way you're going to do that. Like I'm not saying
Because it's
and if anything, players want the uphill. I'm not saying they want the uphill battle, but maybe some of these players like a challenge, right? And they think that they can do something. I don't know, but I'm just saying that they're not gonna give up.
I don't think the players want to give up, but the coaching staff should realize that, like, hey, next year we have a lot of salary cap. We have 2 DP spots. We have 2 TAM contracts. Other players might be moved that we don't even know. We could form a really good team next year. Right as of right now, we have a summer window too, so who knows what can happen next year. Like, we need our key pieces there next year. We wouldn't just want to play them in meaningless games right now where it's not over yet. I mean, we're not mathematically eliminated, but more than likely than not, this team is not going to make the playoffs, and especially with all the injuries we're getting. So I feel like it'd be a good decision just to try to give some other guys opportunities and maybe even build up your bench. Like, let's say some guys play well during that kind of stretch of just meaningless games, try to ground the season, then you got a stronger bench next year. So for me, it's just kind of a positive in every way you look at it. But I understand from the players, they don't want to quit. They don't just want to sit out when there's still a season going on because it's their love of their life, the game of football. So, I mean, if that's what's best for them, then they should do it that. But I do think it's something that should be considered.
I just don't. Again, the fan perspective is that right, but player perspective, the team perspective ain't that. That's
So,
that's
so
basically
what are the
just
players thinking? What do the players and coaching staff think exactly? What do they think can happen?
that
What's,
they
like,
think that they
realistic?
can make the playoffs. That they think that they can make the playoffs. That they think they can
As
win
like
games.
what? A 9th seed and then what? The playing game to lose, or at best case scenario, like play 1 seed LAFC possibly and get destroyed by them? Like, is that the
If
best
you
case
get
scenario?
in the dance, you get in the dance. Once you get in the dance, you show your best moves.
I mean, we're not gonna make it there probably anyways, though. Like,
But again, that's not the conversation. If they're going to make it or not, the discussion is that should they keep trying? Which the ultimate answer is yes, they should keep trying. That is the discussion. You're looking at you're mixing it up now between are they going to make the playoffs or not? I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs. I said that. I just said they're going to keep trying to make the playoffs. That's
all right,
the
good
discussion.
luck to them. I'll just leave it at that. Good luck to them.
Good luck to them. We hope for the best, like we always say.
And,
Like we always say, we always hope for the best. That's all we can say. So
we still need a T-shirt on that too.
yeah, we do need a T-shirt on that. To be honest, maybe I'll
All
make
right,
one.
enough of that, though.
I'll put it on the bed. All right, yeah,
I get
that's
it.
enough of this discussion. We're on different terms on this one, but anyways. But speaking of the season, we do have a game coming up. We have San
Well,
Jose.
we can add one more thing for Colorado.
What's
like,
up with
bro,
Colorado?
We need to shout out Caligari. That dude's performance was insane, especially in altitude. It's his first time playing in Colorado, which is really tough. This dude put in the shift, if I've seen one.
Yeah, I mean he played good. I definitely think he played good on that one. We talked about that one too. He had a pretty good performance, which I
thought he
always
had a
say
very good
Caligari
performance.
has. Yeah, I always say Caligari kind of is like on and off, but this was one of those performances where he was on. Like he
I
definitely
think that
looked
was his
good.
best one in a Galaxy uniform. I think that was his best one.
I'd probably say so as well. I'd probably say that one. Probably that one and maybe the RSL game, but between those
He
two,
likes playing
yeah,
in the
those were
mountains,
his. Yeah, I guess so. Maybe maybe he just likes the high altitude. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, definitely for sure. In Colorado, he had a good game. But anyways, like I was saying, we do have a game this week though against San Jose, the Cali Clasico, a game that we're not advertising at all for some reason.
Oh my
We're
god.
deciding to
I was
skip
about to mention that.
We're deciding we're deciding to skip that advertising instead, for some reason. But for people who don't know, we do have San Jose this Saturday, and we're playing them at Stanford. It's always that big game for San Jose to go play up there, and yeah, I mean let's talk about this game. What are your thoughts about San Jose? How do you think we should go into that one?
Yeah, like first point, like what you said, like if you wouldn't even know we had a game this week, because all the admin is posting about is the Fourth of July Rose Bowl game. I think that's pretty shitty to do, to be honest. Like this game means a lot to us fans. It should mean a lot to the players too. And the fact that we're only posting about LAFC because it sells more tickets and it's a more flashy opponent, I don't think that's cool at all.
Yeah, I know that. I think everybody's pretty mad about that because it's just like, why aren't we like? Again, it's like, hello, we have a game this Saturday and against a
A big
rival
one too. It's not.
Yeah, it's against your original rival or your longtime rival. Like, what? Why are we not talking about that one? Like, I don't know. That to me, that just yeah, it's pretty shitty from the team and from whoever is, I guess marketing the whole Rose Bowl thing or just running social media now. But regardless, yeah. For those who don't know, we do have a big game this weekend, and yeah, it's an important one. And honestly, the whole July schedule is tough because you have San Jose, you got LAC afterwards, you have Philadelphia after that, Vancouver, and then you got the start of Leagues Cup. So this game right here is the start of a very, very hard July schedule. Which again, looking at that one, you're gonna look at the opinion of if we don't do anything here, then you can say the season's over, right? Because for sure, it's like looking at the schedule,
Sure.
you're going to say like you need to get some points, you need to get things going here, but that's not tough. That's not going to be easy. It's going to be
All right.
very, very.
I will
tough.
say this though. I will say this. If we go 2-0 in these two rivalry games, I think we can make the playoffs. I truly think that can change everything. Everyone's mindset, everyone's confidence, the attendance. I think that can change everything if we go 2-0. As for do I think we'll do that? No.
I mean, we did beat San Jose once already this season at home, so you have that going for you. But I also think that I don't think the Galaxy have had that much of a winning record in Stanford in general, though, right? I think that's
Well, they
always
won
been
last
like a
year,
tough
at
one.
least.
Well, they did. They did win last year. But I'm just saying in general, I feel like they
Yeah, it's
haven't
been
really.
tough, yeah.
Yeah, it's been tough to go play at Stanford. So, yeah, I mean, again, tough team, a team that right now that's I think in like what fourth place, San Jose in like fourth. They're definitely in the playoff spot for sure. So they're doing better than we are right now, and yeah. But I always say about rivalry games, it's anything can happen, anything can go, and we're just gonna see how that one goes, I guess.
Yeah, San Jose is a really tough team right now. They've improved a lot, but in a losing season and a negative season like it has been for the Galaxy, one thing that would be great is to clinch the Cali Clasico because obviously we play 3 times San Jose this year. If we win the second game, we automatically win 2-1 no matter what happens in that third game, even if we lose it. So clinching a Cali Clasico, even in one of our worst seasons, would be just a great thing to have.
It would be. It would be a good thing to have. It's always a good thing to do to beat, your rival.
We
no
did
matter
clinch
how
it
you
in
are.
2021. Last time we played 3 games versus San Jose, we won the Cali Clasico series in 2021. So hopefully we can repeat that.
If we can, that's good. And you know what? That's just gonna motivate the team if it does. So, yeah.
It would.
But yeah, this is gonna be the start of a very, very tough July. And like you said, if we can somehow manage to get results against our rivals back to back, then you're definitely going to be looking at this team a little more optimistic, right? So,
Oh, I will be, yeah. These 2 games are very important. But at the same time, if we lose both of these 2 games, then, I think everybody's done. Everybody, all the percentages of people.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's going to be tough. And again, I don't even look at it just as these 2 games. I look at it as the whole month because you even have Philadelphia. I mean, after San Jose,
That's
you
tough,
literally
man.
have to go against last year's MLS Cup finalists back to back. Which
Yeah,
is
it's very tough.
Yeah, that's tough. So, I mean, the only good thing about this July schedule is that there's not that much travel. I think a lot of the games are in California, regardless. So, that is a good thing, restricted travel. But, yeah, for San Jose, I mean, anything can happen. It's a rivalry game.
It would be a great game to have Chicharito in because his last 2 trips to San Jose, he scored a brace in both games.
I think, yeah, even in 2021 when he went to PayPal, he played pretty good too. So it's
Yeah, he
like,
scored a brace. He scored a brace
yes,
there and at Stanford. I was at the
yeah. So
PayPal one.
yeah, so if Chicharito wasn't injured, you definitely want him in this game because he's a San Jose killer. So, or at least in San Jose. So
In San Jose, yeah, it's funny because I don't think he's ever scored on them at Dignity Health Sports Park. In fact, he never has. But in San
I was gonna
Jose,
say,
like 4 goals in 2 games there.
I don't even think he's played them at home. I think he's been injured both times when they've played him at home.
Yes, he has actually.
Yeah, because
He
I remember last year he wasn't
three
there.
times actually. In 2020 he was injured too, and 2021 he was injured, and last year I don't think he was injured. I think he just got rest or something. I don't think he was injured, but
Yeah, but yeah, because I don't recall him ever playing against San Jose at home.
no, he hasn't actually.
Yeah. So, well, actually, except
Well,
this
actually,
one.
he did. He did actually
This
play one
this
game.
season. This season, right? Because that's
Yeah,
the only one I can
no,
recall.
actually twice. In May 2021, like remember we played San Jose 3 times. That first game was at Dignity Health Sports Park. He played in that game in
Oh, okay.
2021,
Yeah.
but he was
Yeah.
injured in the August one at home. We played
Yeah.
San Jose twice at home.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just really couldn't remember if he ever played them at home, to be honest.
Yeah,
So,
I couldn't either. He's been injured a lot there, but in San Jose he has played really well. But unfortunately, he won't be available, so someone else will have to step up.
yeah. So, who will that be? Will it be Preston Judd? Will it be Dejan Joveljic? Who knows?
No.
But somebody's got to step up in that game. So, yeah. And also, who's going to be our center backs that game? Because that is also another question that we always have to
Yeah.
answer. So
I don't know about that 3 right back formation. I'm not so sure about that. It seems kind of weird.
it does seem kind of weird to me, and I don't know. I mean, it worked against Colorado, I guess, but yeah, I don't know.
One guy I think could have a really good performance against San Jose. I feel like Douglas Costa. This is a game for him where like he can really stand out possibly because San Jose kind of have weak fullbacks, and we need someone to step up in rivalry games. And with Chicharito down, our next like star, I guess, is Douglas Costa. So I'm hoping for a really good performance from him.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, which he's been playing very well these past 4 games. So, we can't deny that. And yeah, hopefully this is that game for Douglas Costa where he really gets to shine for us. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully he does. But yeah, I was gonna say for the center backs though, back to that I don't see how you don't call up Marcus Francis for this game. Like I just don't see it. Like if they don't, then if I don't, then I'm thinking, yeah, maybe this team is tanking. but no, I mean, you gotta call them up for this game. You can't have Leardem and Mavinga as your center backs. I just don't see it.
Where's Koulibaly though? I swear the only time we've seen him
Injured.
this year was that penalty against LAFC. That's the only time we've like seen him.
I think
First he
he's
was away
still
with
in.
family, then he was away with his family. He had some business to do. Then he came back injured. Like he got injured in training. Like played one game versus LAFC, played terribly by the way. And then we have not seen him since, and we haven't even gotten updates on him.
He's injured still, from what I know.
I think he's someone who needs to go pretty soon. He's
I
kind of
mean-
just dead
I mean,
weight. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like you don't. I mean, even if he was fully healthy, are you gonna put him in? I don't think so.
Well, right now, yeah, but
No. Well, actually, yeah, because I guess you don't have because Cáceres is gone. If Cáceres wasn't injured and then Koulibaly wasn't injured, is he going to get that much playing time? No, but
dude, we have gotten to the point where we're saying we're missing Eric Zavaleta, and fans are trying to say the season isn't over.
all right.
Am I
Yeah,
right? Though?
You're not. You're right though. You are right. I'm just saying. Though the people saying that the season isn't over is very limited, and I'm probably in that group. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, anything you want to say else about San Jose? I think we've kind of got it covered.
Even though in a tough season, I really want to win the Cali Clasico series for the second time in 3 seasons under Greg Vanney. That's just something I really want to do. It's a bragging right I want to have. I want to say we did it back-to-back times. Like, when we had 3 games against San Jose, that would be a really good achievement. Make me feel really happy as a Galaxy fan, so hopefully we can find a way to do it.
Yeah, hopefully we do, and because unlike the Galaxy, we know that how good of a rivalry this is. We know how historic of a rivalry
The
it is.
admin.
So, yeah, at least we know that this is a historic rivalry, and we know how important this is. So, yeah, let's beat San Jose because that I guess that's a positive, right? Even if we shit the bed the rest of the season, we sweep our rival, so that's good.
We win the wooden spoon, but then we say we went 2-1 against San Jose or 3-0. Hopefully, maybe imagine that. But that's for the future.
Yeah, that is for the future. We gotta wait for this game, but yeah, hopefully. I mean, like we always say, we can only hope for the best.
Exactly.
Yeah, but anyways, I think that's gonna be it for this show. Can't thank you guys enough for watching and listening. If you guys want to follow us on social media, follow me at Insider Galaxy on Instagram, on Twitter. Go follow LA Galaxy Central on Instagram. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. It's been a while, and we're good to be back. And hopefully this was an interesting conversation and episode for you all. But yeah, good for you guys to be here. But be a friend, tell a friend about the podcast whenever, wherever you're listening to this podcast. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day, rest of your night, and whenever you're listening to this. So thank you guys, and G's up.
7 words.